Hi everybody, my name is Scott Hillier. I'm an independent film director and president of ÉCU, the European Independent Film Festival. I'd like to welcome you here again for another ÉCU Friday Live, where we try to give some entertainment, inspiration, advice, and just generally great storytelling from a lot of independent filmmakers and people associated with the independent filmmaking world. Today, as always, we've got some very interesting, fabulous guests to walk us down the path into the world of independent filmmaking. Now, film is a battlefield, Samuel Fuller said. He was an American film director and journalist and World War II veteran. And he directed a lot of low-budget films in the States in the 60s, 50s and 60s. And he could be speaking as of today because film is still a battlefield. It's been a path plagued with difficulties, budgeting, finding a crew, keeping the budget alive and staying motivated. The important thing is how you overcome these difficulties by not giving up when problems arise and working until you achieve your goal. And most people think that your goal is impossible and a bit silly, so it's always a pleasure when you get there. And it's not just the production of a film that's complicated, because then you get to the edit suite. There's the adage of, there's three films. There's the film you write, the film you shoot, the film you edit. I love being on set. It's the thing that keeps me alive and keeps my juices flowing. But you make the film in the edit suite. And a lot of dark nights and red wine and pizzas, but that's where you really make your film. And then the hardest thing, distribution, getting it to film festivals. But rather than aiming for the negatives in this discussion, I'm going to aim for the positives, because when your film gets accepted into a film festival, for instance, we know a little bit about that here at ÉCU, the lights go down and the light bounces on the screen. That's when it all comes together. That's the pleasure that we have as filmmakers. So, again, a very positive discussion we're aiming for here, but we're going to be talking about the negative things, which is hard work, not having enough money, carrying heavy silver boxes upstairs, stuff like that. And to do that, I'm joined by, for the first time ever in the ÉCU office, we're joined with Anke, who's an award-winning film director from Germany. She's very talented lady. She was shocked to beyond belief at ÉCU this year when she won an award. So we got her here in the ÉCU office here today to talk to her. So ÉCU, Anke, welcome to ÉCU. Welcome to the ÉCU office.
Hello, everybody.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your path up to this day?
Oh, it was quite a long way until here. I've been since I was quite a young actress in Germany. I come from Germany. I've been actress and I've been acting in theater and also in film, and I acted a lot, and I already made a lot of experiences in front of the camera. And also, if you are patient, you can watch how shooting works. And as I became older, I was no more so appreciated by the parts I could play in films or in televisions, and I thought about writing my own stories, and this work did not work bad. It came out quite good.
We're going to talk about your film in a second, but sorry, Anke, so you started off in front of the camera and then you moved behind the camera. How easy or hard was that transition?
It was not hard at all, because I have been so often in my life. I have been so often in film sets, and I did know so much about shooting just by instinct. It was not really difficult, and also I have to admit that I still work in front of the camera as well, and I can't say what I like most. But directing my own film, I did not have one single problem. I just
good for you. Well, next time I do one, I'm going to ask you how to do it, because I always have heaps of problems. Anke, let's talk about your film that won a prize at ÉCU this year. Tell us a little bit about how you the concept of it and how you made it, because I love the film. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, first of all, I had the idea. It was not very easy. The most difficult thing was to get together the money for the shoot, because in Germany you have to pay everybody. You don't have to pay your team a lot of money, but you have to pay something. And I think that's also very important, and that's good. And so it was quite a long time it took me to get together the money for making the film. And then I found a co-producer with whom I did the film together, with whom I was very lucky, because he supported all the things which were technical, and had to do with all the economics things. So I could concentrate myself on the scenes, on working with the actress, which was quite.
Just give me the 20-second elevator pitch about the story. Just tell us a little bit about the story of the film.
It's a story about dying. It's a story about dying at the end of a life. Of a life. It's not a death by accident. It's just a death, how we say in Germany, a quiet and a patientful death. And the story plays in a nursing home for older people, and the two main characters are a young nurse and an old man who lives in this home, and they are both rebels.
I love that, because there are, and of course, people will have seen the film at the festival, or whatever, and there's a very interesting turn and twist in the film, which I loved. And how did that come up? Was that a written part, or did you actually come up with it?
It's a written part. I thought it out before, and my producer always said, "Anke, go and look for unusual things."
Well, I think he was exactly right about that, because I sat back in my chair when I watched it. I mean, that's very clever. It wasn't telegraphed at all, because a lot of people telegraph something that's going to happen, but that wasn't telegraphed at all. And I thought you handled it perfectly well. And I have to admit, I thought the actress was outstanding. What's it like as a actress director talking to another actress on set? Because you know what it's like.
We speak the same languages. I know how to help her, and she has she was confident, or she has confidence on me. With all actors, it was the same thing. I think they enjoyed working together with me, because I know how it works, acting in front of a camera.
That's a very important thing, I think, is, just to talk as the takeaway from this. It's your actors, as a director, they have to trust you, they have to believe you, because you're opening up, you're peeling aside their exterior things and you're getting very much of an interior look. So, work a lot with your actors. You can be the best technical director ever, but the actors are the people that the action people are going to see on the screen. So, spend an inordinate amount of time with them and make them trust you. I think that's a big thing. And just quickly, because there will be some technical people out there, how long did your film take to shoot, and how long did it take to edit?
I have to. I want to say one thing more. I also wanted to be surprised by them, and they did also surprise me. My film did take to shoot 5 days, not more. And when it was finished afterwards, it was editing and the whole those stories that comes after.
Okay, well, that editing thing again, I love it and I hate it, but it's what makes it all perfect. Okay, Anke, we'll come back to you to discuss a little bit further shortly, but now I want to go off to my favorite Italian on the podcast right now, Luca, director of Deathmate. A great film, very modern, very scary in a way, not as in a horror scary, but just, you know, life as we know it as young people today. So, Luca, welcome to the ÉCU Friday Live. Why don't you talk to me a little bit about your path to where we are today?
Thank you, Scott. And could we wait the teaser?
Almeno questo gesto sarà coerente con una parte di me. Quella che se la parte di notte quasi scompare nel tutto.
Okay, Luca, why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself and how you got to ÉCU, I guess, and where ÉCU Friday Live.
I'm a director and a screenwriter. Now in Italy work like AD, and this is my third short movie, Deathmate, and this was the teaser. Deathmate talks about an app for share the suicide experience, and I'm a young director, and I believe in the independent movie because I think it's the only way. It's the better way for express yourself and find festival and other experience for make good connection and make network. So
okay, so you went to a film school to get your experience and to start making films. What did you think of the film school experience?
In Italy, the school is the cinema school is very particular because we don't shoot short movie. Okay, if you want to shoot a short movie, you have to do the short movie all alone. Okay, it's and in Italy the most important thing is being motivated, because if you want to shoot a short movie, you have to do on your own. The most difficult part in Italy is find the money, is the part of the budgeting, and if you are alone, you have to work or ask money to friend like crowdfunding and other things like that. And I think if you wanna be a director, an indie director in Italy, you have to be motivated and also brave, because you have to believe you have to trust on yourself. So this in my opinion, because the school in Italy works okay, we speak about theory, we speak about movie, we speak about critic and history of cinema, but if you wanna shoot a short movie, you have to do on your own. So
okay, well, you did, and you did very well, so I applaud you. So why don't we talk a little bit about Deathmate? How did you come up with the idea?
The idea came up when I studied screenwriting, and I was reading a lot of books about how to write a good movie, and I was reading about the conflict and the character and stuff like that, and even the structure. And I like with Deathmate, I like to speak about a future not so impossible to watch maybe in the future. I hope not, but so the idea came up studying screenwriting, and I think it's an important part of go to the school of cinema in Italy, because we study a lot of screenwriting. We watch the movie together, and we analyze every part of the movie, so we know how a scene is right, why there is a beat or a part of the dialogue in a way, and I think this is very important. And Deathmate, so the idea came from studying cinema, studying conflict, and I'd like to speak in this experience, I like to speak about these two characters, Alessio and Francesca, that want to share the suicide experience, but in a moment, Alessio know that this is incorrect, this is wrong, and so the idea is that, and
it's quite a dark film. I mean, it takes some twists and turns like any good film should make, Luca. But were you attracted by the darkness on it? And again, is this a reflection of modern day life in Italy for young people?
I'm attracted about darkness, and I listened a lot of emo music, like Asking Alexandria, Bring Me the Horizon, and stuff like that. But the project Deathmate was born for be a series. Okay, so this is a pilot, and so my idea in the series is motivate the new generations to live. To have a good life and no waste time, stuff like that, and the movie is sad, but there is a cliffhanger in the final, like every pilot, and for me the cliffhanger is full of hope. Okay, and I don't want to spoiler the show movie, but I think that there is hope in the final of my short movie, and if you want to watch the short movie Deathmate, will be available very soon on Prime Video in all the world, and I don't know when, but I'll say you when it will be possible to watch.
Well, good. Well, we'll be looking forward to that. But now, let's now go into the sort of overarching theme of the podcast, which is like how to achieve your goals as an independent filmmaker. And it's a very broad question, and we're talking different countries and different outlooks and different experiences. But if I was sitting in an airplane next to you, Anke, and sort of said, well, how can I achieve my goals as a filmmaker? What sort of overall positive advice would you give us?
You should not give up. Not give up, never. you should think in very long terms, and not be frustrated if anything does not work at the first attempt.
And that's great. And what is a quick good sentence from you about how to achieve the goals?
I don't know, maybe the same. Be motivated and trust on yourself, and don't care about the other people that try to put you down, and don't care about the people that say you can do that, you can shoot a short movie.
Yeah, and I think that that's great advice, and it's again, that's what we try to do here at ÉCU. But I think that if we were to take it down one level, I think the thing for always is finding the story that you want to tell. And because when you find the story that you want to tell, it's like, I just saw something just before, and somebody was saying, they went to get a coffee, and they're talking to the coffee guy who seemed really good, the barista, and is very engaged and whatever. And he sort of said, "Hey, Mr. Coffee Barista guy, tell me, do you like your job?" And the guy went, "I don't like my job. I love my job." And I think that's what we've got to do when we make our film. We have to love it. When people are knocking you down and kicking you down and telling you it's rubbish, you have to love it. And if you love it, then you win because you're doing the job you love. And I think it's also going to go on screen. So I think love is a big thing in independent filmmaking world. And then again, I like the two approaches that we have here. Anke are very, very involved in front of the camera and seeing how it works, and Luca, the sort of dissecting film scripts in film schools. I think that's a very interesting thing. And I think getting back to the story, and if I was to offer advice to the ÉCU crew and anyone else who might be listening to this, is either find a great story or write a good story. And I think, sitting down and writing a good story and then studying it. I think that studying is not necessarily going to university, but read a lot of scripts, read a lot of books, You know, I mean, I think that is definitely getting lost here. I've not held a poll in my office recently to find out how many people are reading books every day on the metro, but that's a form of study to making a good film, because the cliffhanger in your film, Luca, was astonishing. I was scotched to my seat, as they would say, and I think that doesn't come without studying a lot of films, studying a lot of scripts, having people to do this. So again, that's another bit of advice for that.
Thank you,
Anke, what inspires you in the filmmaking world?
Everything. I love it. I love the moment when the camera rolls, and I love the moment when life happens in front of this camera. When life in front of the camera is more important than real life. Or I sometimes wonder, what is real life now? Is this real life, or is it real life behind the camera? And it's a fantastic business.
Luca, what inspires you, young man?
Luca, you're on mute.
For me, the part that I love in the movie maybe is when you are alone to write the movie, and you start to think every direction that could be take the script, and you have to choose only one for make your movie the best. So think about the cause and the effect in every part of the movie, and maybe it's the part that I prefer for because when I shoot the short movie, I'm in anxiety. I have anxiety, and it's maybe it's the worst part of it's funny, these things. I know it's funny, but maybe the set is the part more hard, more difficult. Okay, so I love when I write, and maybe the advice that I can give to other screenwriter is watch a lot of movie, even book, newspaper. More you read, more you listen about the world, and even real life. Even watch the people on the metro. Maybe talk with the other people. Everything could be a part of the research that you have to do before you write the movie. Okay, I think that the most important thing maybe before you start to write is be a good research about what you want to talk. Okay, and so this is my opinion. Before to write, I watch something like 3-4 movie, like reference, like that I use like comparable, and I do the log outline. So I write on a book every scene, and then I start to think the sequence, how is structured the sequence, how is structured the act, and stuff like that. And this is my method. This is my way. But everyone has a personal way.
But I think what you're bringing up there, Luca, is the fact that it is hard work, and guess what? This is writing stuff down like this is much more important than looking at your telephone on a metro and stuff like that, which is the broader thing. I try to talk to my daughter about that and the ÉCU crew here as well, because I see them walking up the street to work on their telephones, and that's not studying and thinking about running a film, because it is hard work. Making a film is work. It's a pleasure, but it's work, and you have to attack it like that. The ÉCU crew have come up with a quote which I think is fabulous to bring up now. It's by an Indian filmmaker based in New York City called Mira Nair. And the quote is, "Making films is about having absolute and foolish confidence the challenge for all of us is to have the heart of a poet and the skin of an elephant. And I wonder, Anke, how many times when you're making your film, or maybe it didn't happen to you because it's such a good film, but did people sow doubt into your mind? Did they doubt your project? Did they doubt on how you were making it and how it was progressing, and you had to have the skin of an elephant to get it finished the way you want to have it finished?
Yes, and they doubt also my character and everything. It was not always easy. And on the other end, that's absolutely right. You have to be very sensitive to find during writing, during the installation, to find things which are special, to find out things which are bigger than life. I like this very lot. Film for me is always bigger than life. You have ideas which are quite a little bit more unusual than normal ideas. You have the kind of acting. Even you have actors which are a little bit bigger than life. I adore this.
Luca, what about you? Do you have the heart of a poet and the skin of an Italian elephant?
Yeah, The Elephant by Gus Van Sant. Are you saying? Are you speaking about the movie?
Yeah, I mean, I guess how did you doubt, or did you have doubts, and did people give you doubts, and you just had to be like an elephant and say, I'm going to do it this way, and this is the way that I have to do it?
No, I have my idea, but I always listen to the people in the troupe, because I think in an indie short film is important. So I listen the other, but when I know that my vision is the way I follow my vision, of course. I think that I think that you have to listen the other, but you have to if you write the movie, it's simple because you have your vision, and when the other say to you a wrong idea, you know, and maybe if you write your short movie, then there isn't this problem for me.
No, I think you're right. I think there's a very delicate balance of listening to a lot of people, but being influenced by your heart, I think is the thing. There will be obvious things that you do mess up, as you do, but I think it's very important to, at the end of the day, it's your film. Listen to the advice, but stick the path. You know, I love that heart of a poet and height of an elephant. I like that very much. So I think we're getting a lot of very good content out of this. A lot of good advice and inspiration. We'll come back for inspiration a bit later on, but I'm going to hand over to Rodrigo. He's going to host the question and answer session of this, and we'll have some of the very talented young ÉCU crew to ask you guys some questions. So over to you, Rodrigo.
So the first question is from, thank you very much for joining us today. The first question is from Patricia.
My question is for both of you. I would like to ask, what is the biggest challenge you ever faced while making a movie and how you overcame it?
So we can start with Anke and then Luca.
One really big challenge was that I lost my favorite place for shooting 2 days before we started. We planned to start shooting, and we have had to decide what we are going to shoot, what we are going to do, because you know my film from these 4 days of shooting, from these 5 days of shootings, 4 did take place in this nursing home for elder people, and I had a nursing home which was exactly the one I wanted to have, and we had 2 days before shooting started, we had a lot of problem with this, and I decided to to move the date of the film. I decided to stick to this place for shooting. This motif, I don't know the word in English, how it is called.
Motive.
So, for me,
Did you actually change the location?
No, location. I got it.
Yeah.
I decided to stick to this location and to talk to everybody. Please be patient. Wait a few more days, and we can stick to this location.
So you stuck to your guns. You weren't deviated. That's determination.
And you, Luca?
for me, it's very similar to Anke, because for me was I'm directing another short movie in Italy this year, and since the day after that we shoot, we wasn't sure that we could use the location, my location, the location that I prefer for shoot this short movie, and so I couldn't sleep the day before to shoot because I was thinking about this location, about this problem. We find it a true covered set, because if the main location wasn't be available for shoot the movie, we had to change the plan and go to another location. And the main problem is that this script has only one location, and so since the day before to shoot, I couldn't sleep.
I was directing a documentary for National Geographic on the French Foreign Legion, and I talked to for 2 hours. I did a 2-hour interview with an ex-Foreign Legionnaire, and I was up in the north of Connecticut, north of New York City in Connecticut, and I shot this film, and there was this sort of soldier guy, long hair, beard, sort of whatever, and he was working in an office, and as an accountant, and I'm like looking at him going, well, you don't look very much like an accountant, but okay. So we did an interview, and he used to be in a sniper in the French Foreign Legion, and he'd been to war and probably done things that soldiers do, but it was a very good interview, and we did a lot of good things. And then I went back and I edited the film, and National Geographic came back and they said, you've got to go back and reshoot a couple of questions with Keith. Keith was the soldier. You've got to reshoot a couple of questions with him because we're missing this, this, and this. And I'm like, okay. So I called up Keith and I said, hey, Keith, I want to do a reshoot. I got in a car and drove back up. And I walked into his office, and instead of seeing the scruffy French Foreign Legion soldier that I'd filmed for 2 hours 2 weeks before, there was a clean-cut man with a haircut, suit and tie, and freshly shaved. And I'm going, how the hell do you get out of this? Because these 3 questions are going to tie it up with the 3 other questions. So anyway, I filmed him there. I literally filmed him there. So, the thing is, there is always a way around it, So anyway, it's over to you, Rodrigo.
So our second question comes from our intern, Antoine. So I'll give you the word.
Hi. I was wondering, how long did it take for you to actually write the script? And how many drafts did you write before to have the perfect draft?
Let's go with.
For me, there's no time. My last movie is been. I started to write 2 years ago, and I write this movie 15 times. Okay, and I think it's less. Maybe I'd like to write again the movie now. Maybe for me there's no a time, but when you listen to the people of the crew that say, I'd like to shoot this movie, I'd like to give a word to your idea, I think the script is ready for go to the set. Okay, there is only your time, I think. For me, a script, I never read a script if I watch is only the 5 drafts, because I know that it's not a good script, but this is my idea. I start to send to the crew my script at 6-7 draft, but it's my way.
I first wrote a script for a long film, and in Germany you have to try to get subsidies to make a film, and as I got it into a founding, and they did not take it, and in a way this helped me to work again and to work again and to work again on the script and to make it shorter, and as a fact that now it became a short film, is in a way was in a way very lucky for my story, but now at the very moment I'm working on a long script.
And I think that's a good thing. What you brought up as well, Luca, is there's no perfect script, because even we would like to keep writing, and there's talk that well, anyway, but I think and particularly when you get into editing the film, that's the bit. You never finish editing the film. You just give up, because you could be editing it for 60 years.
But sometimes there are scenes at which I could look at again and again and again, and I said, well, I got it. I got what I wanted. And I also have to admit that I have help with concerning the writing, the work of an author, because I'm not at all a real author, as Luca is. I have a co-author who is very good and a very well-known author, and he works together. We are working together, and he's quite a big help.
Perfect. And our last question is from our intern Anna. So Anna.
Yes, my question is for both of you. So how was your experience working with actors? Was it easy to redirect them, or was there some difficulties?
Anke, I know that you are an actor. I mean, we sort of.
I didn't get you really. Please again. Okay. The experience with what?
How was your experience working with actors?
With actors, okay.
Yes. Was it easy to direct them, or was there some challenges?
I think, from my experience as an actor, I think that a director has to love the actors, his actors. And I did choose those actors. I did know them all, and they were my favorite choice. And I was very lucky to get them, and I let them a lot of freeness we were talking about the scene. We were talking like actors about the scene, and then and we were doing the scene in the way I planned it. And afterwards, I often said, "Well, and now you have a wide cut. Just do in the context, do whatever you want, and I promise you that cameraman will have it on screen." And I did take it twice.
For me, the best part of the craft with the actor is speak about the life of the character and our lives, because for me it's important to speak when I speak with an actor, speak about our lives and the life of the character, so you can find a similar part, and I think that is funny, and this is the first approach, I think, but this is my way. Maybe the best part of the work of the craft with an actor is find a way for go to the life with the character. Okay, go to the life on the screen, because on the screen there is another life, and the actor have to be prepared to be. I don't know. Do you get it? Sincerely.
Okay, thank you very much for questions. So now we're going back to Scott.
Okay, thanks, Rodrigo. Thanks, ÉCU crew. We'll start slowly wrapping this up. Very talented filmmakers who I've got here on the thing, but because I've got such talented filmmakers here and some very keen, enthusiastic young people around me, Luca and Anke, I'm just wondering if we had three important bits of advice that you'd like to give out to these young filmmakers, budding filmmakers. Luca, what would it be? How could you inspire them with some good advice? 3 quick points.
First advice: find a work. Maybe if you start to shoot video clip, if you can buy a camera, you can find some client and work, and you can have some money, or share a crowdfunding on social media, stuff like that. Find the money. It's the most important things. The second is being motivated, because if you are not motivated, you can't do the first point, the first advice. And the third thing is share your passion with the other guy of the crew and with the actors. And so this is
Anke?
advice.
A lot of things concerning the process of shooting. Look what's really happening in front of the camera. The moment overrules the plan. So if something happens in front of the camera which you did not expect, look at it and take it as a gift. Work together with your whole team, not only with your actors, that everybody from the team has something to give you for the whole film, because film is teamwork. And the third advice: learn as much as possible about filmmaking, about script writing, about editing and acting, everything which has to do with it's a profession. It is not something you do just only by because you have the idea of. It's a real profession, and take it professionally.
That's great advice, because you don't fall into filmmaking. Oh, sorry, you may fall into filmmaking, but it is a craft, and it's hard work, and you have to be motivated. And I've had some crew come in here who've done 2 years in film school and don't know how to put up a light stand. Now that's not the school's fault. That's the student's fault for not being motivated enough to be on set putting up light stands. And I firmly believe in that. So great advice. And here in front of me again, the ÉCU crew have come up with some quotes. And this is from Peter Jackson, who knows a little bit about making films. But he's like, the most honest form of filmmaking is to make a film for yourself. And there's only one thing, Anke and I, we're old enough to know how hard it was in the days of needing to buy film and get film cameras and lights and all that sort of stuff. And right now, our ÉCU crew go out and they make really good films with little cameras. And because it's not the technical side of things that matter these days, because the technical things are in your iPhone. It's actually your ability to tell stories, read books, get off your telephone unless you're making a film with it. That's old man advice. But I'm gonna wrap this up. I just want to say thank you very, very much for your time, for your great films. You're both ÉCU alumni. You will be being asked by Rodrigo, the fabulous Rodrigo here, to help us choose the official selection for ÉCU 2023. Those emails will be going out soon, and we'll be looking forward very much to your help in that. That's a reminder that ÉCU 2023 is in April next year. We still are open for submissions. We're still receiving great films in the submission process. I mean, ÉCU's job is to discover, project, and promote the world's best independent films, and we're blessed every year that we get filmmakers like Anke and Luca who submit their films to us, and then we share them all around the world with our festival here in Paris and then our ÉCU on the road. So we like spreading the works of the storytellers of our generation. So thank you very much, Luca and Anke, for joining us. Thank you very much, Rodrigo, for putting this together. Thank you very much for the ÉCU crew. So go forth and prosper. Have a great weekend, everybody. And as we say at ÉCU, rebel indie spirit, please keep living it.